Okay, guys, we talked about this on last class, but this is what's going to be on the quiz, and this is all listed on last class Schoology. So the quiz is this Thursday, and we're going to find the slope. We're going to use slope-intercept two different ways, multiple representations, and then standard form. So you will find this document, and it's called Problems that I'm going to be using for review. And this is just going through very similar. There are 4 parts to the test, to the quiz, just like it says in that document. So we're going to go through that. So to find slope, remember we want to count to find slope. So first we have to find our whole number points. Here are some whole number points. And I'm just going to go, oh, and we're another whole number point, whole another point. I'm going to go from these two right here. I'm going to go up 2 and to the right 1. And that's going to be a slope of 2. And notice that my slope is in a positive direction. So it should be a positive 1. Positive direction. So points, whole number points right there, right here. So let's just to be different, let's go from one to the other. So I'm going to start up here. I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3. When I go down, it's a negative. When I go to the left, it's also a negative. And how many did I go? 1, 2, 3, 4. So my slope is 3/4. I would have gotten it counting it that way. No matter what, this is my slope. On this next one, the only points I have are actually the y-intercept and the x-intercept. So I'm going to count up 6, and I'm going to count to the left 9. Put that in lowest terms, I get negative 2/3. Now here, you can't use points, okay? You have to remember the rules. You have to remember that a vertical line is undefined. Meaning the slope is undefined for a vertical line. Undefined. Defined. Okay, but we're looking for those 5 letters there. This is not a vertical line, it's a horizontal. So what's my slope? 0. Okay, horizontal line is 0. Vertical line is undefined. Horizontal is 0. If I'm going to find the slope given a table, I'm just going to take 2 points. Take 2 points. I can take any 2 points. Doesn't matter which 2 points I take. And I subtract, and I'm going to be able to find out what that is equal to. So if I and remember slope, subtract y. So I'm going to take my y value. My y value is -5. My x value is 3. My y value is 7. My x value is 7. So I get -12 over -4, which gives me a +3. Here, now notice I didn't even finish the table. That's because you don't really have to in order to find out what the answers are. You only need 2 points. So, but notice this is y. So I'm going to take 7 and 8. That's my first point. Then I'm going to subtract 3. So I get 4 over -8. That's -1/2. Okay? Just to practice finding that y-intercept. To practice y-intercept here is kind of complicated. I'll show you in one of the problems what we have to do. Okay? But to find the y-intercept, you have to look at the x's. See how I went up by 8. I have to get back to 0. What do I have to do to get back to 0? Luckily, I only have to go down 8. If so, then I can just use this. This went up, down 4, so this is going to go up 4. So I get 11. That's how my y-intercept would be 11. Okay, good. On the next page, we're going to find slope given 2 points. So if I am given 2 points, I'm going to subtract my y. So I'm going to take 6 and -3. I'm going to take -5 and -4. It has to be change in y over x. Change in y over change in x. So I get 11 over 1. So my slope is 11. Here, and you can start with the second point. It does not matter which point you start with, you're still going to get a slope of 11. Okay, in lowest terms and simplifying everything else. So do the same thing here. 5 over 6. I'm going to take 9, and I'm going to take 6. I get -4 over 0. Okay, is this okay, or is it a knockout? It's a knockout. 0's in the denominator. This is a knockout. Okay, so this one we're going to put undefined is my slope. It's not equal to, it's just undefined. The next section you're going to be, so that's all finding slope. The next section we're going to be doing is slope-intercept with graphs and equations. State the y-intercept as an ordered pair and find the slope. So my y-intercept is right here. Sorry, these are a little blurry, but we can still see it. So my slope as an ordered pair is 0, 2. My y-intercept is 0, 2. Okay, as an ordered pair. My slope, there's a whole number point. Where's my next whole number point? That's one. Oh, that's one. So I can go up 1 and to the left 2. So that's a negative 1/2, which makes sense because look at my graph. It's going in a negative direction. Okay, so my equation for that would be y equals negative 1/2 x plus 2. Okay, this one. And what I'd recommend is that you pause and do them yourself first and then do them with me, or do the entire worksheet and then go back and watch it. So here's my y-intercept, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, y-intercept. My y-intercept is 0, negative 4. So my equation so far is negative 4. Let's find the slope. Once again, it's the x and y intercepts. That's weird. That's kind of a coincidence. So I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to go to the right 1, 2, 3. So my slope is 4/3. Double check myself. Do I have a positive slope? Yes. So I'm good. Now on this, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the back of your packet right now, and we're going to graph some equations. So I'm just going to make up some equations, and you're going to graph them. Okay? So go to the back of your packet. Hold on a second. I have to go get my packet. So now the other part of the slope-intercept, one, given a graph, write the equation. The other part is given an equation, graph it. So our first one, y equals 3x minus 1. And again, pause yours, try and graph it. My y-intercept is negative 1, so 0, negative 1. My slope is 3. When you are graphing, you want the slope as a fraction. So we're going to start at negative 1. We're going to go up 1, 2, 3 over 1. Down 1, 2, 3 over 1. There is my line. Okay, here's another one. Y equals negative 2/5 x plus 3. Pause yours, graph that equation, write down what your y-intercept or your slope are, go. Okay, so my y-intercept is 0, 3. My slope is negative 2/5. So I'm going to plot it at 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go down 2, 5 to the right, up 2, 5 to the left, and I draw my line. Make sure your line goes to the very edge of the graph. I will take off points if it does not go to the edge, and if it does not have the arrowheads. Okay, now try the equation x equals negative 2. Pause yours. Graph it. Okay, so when you graph these, notice if there's only one variable, it crosses that axis and only that axis. If it only has one variable, it only crosses that axis. So this graph crosses at negative 2, crosses at negative 2, crosses at negative 2. Okay, so try this one, y equals 4. Go, pause it, graph it. Okay, so again, only one variable, so it's only going to cross the y-axis. You're going to have a horizontal line. Where does it cross it at? 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It crosses that axis. If there's only one variable, it crosses that axis. Okay, good. The next thing we're going to be doing is that we are given multiple representations. So given one representation, complete the other 3 according to the function described. So me personally, I always start off by finding the equation no matter what is given. I'm always going to find the equation. I think that's the algebra in me. It just makes more sense in an equation. So I'm going to start by finding my equation. We're going to find the y-intercept. To find the y-intercept, what we have to do here is that we have to find out our 0 term. So we have to get back to 0. Well, how much did I go back? I went back by 20. Hopefully, I'm going to go up by 20. If I do, then I'm ready to go. See how I go up by 20? So that means all I have to do is the same thing here. Here I went down by 1, so now I have to go up by 1. So I'm going to take 9 plus 1 and get 10. Okay? That's how you find the y-intercept. Let's find our slope, and we'll have our equation. So to find our slope, just take 2 of the points. Take 2 of the points and subtract. So we're going to take our y value and our x value. We're going to take our y value and our x value, and we get 1 over negative 20. So our equation is y equals negative 1/20 x plus 10. Now we're going to graph. Now on this, I kind of took up too much space here. This is going to be miles traveled. And this is going to be gallons left. I'm going to cram that on there. Left, and that's gas. Okay, now the weird thing is our x-axis, notice, is going up in 20s. So let's see if we can do 10s. 10, 20, 30, 40. Yep. Okay, and this one, those are going by ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we're going to plot those points. 0, 10, that's our y-intercept. And then we're going to go 20 and 9, and 40 and 8, and 60 and 7, and 80 and 6. Now this one, we do not have to have it continue on this direction. This direction, it can go until it hits that x-axis. The application for this, you can do it a couple different ways. One that I had was Miss Everett had 10 gallons in her gas tank. She noticed that you could say this two ways. One, that her tank goes down by 1/20 her tank goes down by 1 every 20 miles that she goes. Or you can just say that, to make it the easiest way, she noticed that her gas went down by 1/20 of a gallon for every 20 miles. Now, you wouldn't have to put this part on, okay? But that's just one example. You could do that lots of different ways. Okay, the next one we're going to look at is actually, we're going to, on this one here, read the situation, write an equation. For the test, you're going to have to do that. Now, here the equation is given. Here, to get the equation, the y-intercept is 100. And notice if this is 1 point, here's my next. But look at my x value. That's 1/2. We don't want to use that. We want to use this as our next point, 1. So how much did I go up? I went up 12. I went over 1. Okay, now the y-intercept on this one is kind of tricky because see how I go up by 2, but I have to come back to 0. I need that 0 term. So here I'm only going 1. I'm going down by 1, but here I'm going up by 2. So what I actually have to find is I have to find, we're not this mean to you on the quiz, but I want to show you how to do it. I have to still go down by 1. So what I do is I find out how much does it go from here to here. That's 44. So if I want to go from here to here, meaning to match up with that 2, I only go down 22. So I have to go up 22 here, back 22, so that would be 30. That's my y-intercept. I know that was kind of a tricky one, but just to let you know, that's what you're doing. Okay, so now find the slope. You know how to do this. Take 52 over 1, 96 over 3, so I get 2 over, I can't subtract in my head, so I get 52 minus 96, negative 44, which is negative 22. Which kind of makes sense because we went back 22 to get this, okay? Then we would ask you questions like, oh, and let's see what this means. X represents the number of days rented, okay? So that should be number of days, yeah, the rental fee. So this is per month. How much does it cost? So this one costs $50 no matter what, $18 per day. This one costs $30 no matter what, $22. This is not a negative. This would have been a negative 2 right here. So that's where I screwed up. It's just 2. Sorry, messed up. So 30 to rent, $22 per day. 100 to rent, only $12 per day. So then you might say, well, what is the cheapest one to rent per day? Well, the cheapest one to rent per day is company A. What has the lowest flat fee? What are you going to pay no matter what? Is it 50, 30, or 100? Well, company C, you only have to pay 30 if you just rent it, and then it's a little bit more, though, per hour. then we would say something like, well, how much would it cost to rent it for 7 days? Because notice we don't have a 7 here or there. And that's where you would plug in 7 to find all of those. Okay? The next page is standard form. On standard form, you're going to find the x and y intercepts, and you're going to write them as an ordered pair, and then you're going to graph using these intercepts. So remember, to find the x-intercept, I'm going to plug 0 in for y. So 4x plus 5 times 0. To find the y-intercept, I'm going to plug 0 in for x. So I'm going to have 4 plus 5y is equal to 20. So I'm going to plug 0 in here. Now you're just going to solve each of these equations. 4x is equal to 20, x is equal to 5. 5, 0 is my x-intercept. 5y is equal to 20, so y is equal to 4. And we're going to get 4, whoops, but this is a y-intercept, so that means that the x-coordinate is 0. So we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, x-intercept, sorry, I'm hurrying, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to get a graph that looks like this. Okay, on number 18, same kind of thing. Plug in 0 for y, plug in 0 for x, and solve. So we have 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. On the test, we will make sure that it fits on the grid. Okay, there you go. Now, I do have one more problem on there if you want to see how to do that. And if you have questions, or it's a good one to practice. Your equations, here's one equation. This equation, 2500. And again, go ahead and turn yours off, and then you can see if you know what you're doing. I went up by 100, I went over by 1. Here, the y-intercept is given. Find the slope. (270 over 9). We get 30. And then we would answer questions about that. So that's just a quick review. If you have questions, come see me on Wednesdays. You know where to find me. Thanks. Bye.